over some things today, what we can expect tomorrow, ahead of the Disney investors earnings call. It's going to be quite interesting. I don't think, all right, I think the last quarter it was good. First quarter was really good. But I think this one is going to be kind of a bit of a red wedding. The fact that streaming services, I mean, the honeymoon period for streaming and the glut of streaming services has gotten to the point where nobody's making any money on it anymore. So we got that. Second of all, we've got the issue still with the woke Disney employees. And I'm going to address that because I'm going to say some things a lot of people don't want to hear or will definitely disagree with me on this. What else is going on? I expect, and there's some other things going on I want to kind of address. I expect the earnings call to not be good. I also expect that we will see some subscriber uppage, but here in the United States we won't. And the reason is because what's going on with Disney proper, with the woke agenda, and the Reedy Creek thing, which is just political retaliation. But I'm going to say something about Reedy Creek. That has been a question mark for people in Florida. I've lived there, I know, for a long time. Okay, people were wondering out loud, why does Disney get special treatment? Let me remind you, if you've gone over to Valiant Renegade's channel, that Reedy Creek is not Disney, is a separate entity. Okay. And when you hear the actual lawyers talking about it, you'll understand it's not anything what you think it is. Okay. It is basically Ron DeSantis, rightly in my opinion, pulling out a card saying, if you're going to attack me for signing the parental rights bill, I'm going to make sure Reedy Creek is taken away from you. That's it. It's a political ploy. Disney Reedy Creek filed a lawsuit. And when you look at the lawsuit, it's like, it was like written by a Muppet. It was like it was really written by a fucking Muppet. Animal wrote it. I'm like, oh my God. What? And to be honest, I don't see it going anywhere. I see the judge saying, get this out of my court. All right. It's not a serious lawsuit. This is all they have, they think. And again, I'm going to say that while this is going on, DeSantis and Chapek are probably talking. Hey, Troy. Yeah, well, I'm thinking that. Oh, and if you guys could hit the like button, I would really appreciate that. And share this stream out so we can get more people in. I don't think notifications are going out at all. So, the more the merrier. But it's mostly just about, this is tit for tat right now. So let's talk about that. I was on Instagram this morning and, this one crazy lady, a hardcore right-winger, like, I am and not, am not, I am and I'm not, was screaming about basically dividing the country because she just can't get along with people who she disagrees with. What does that sound like to you? That sound like someone that works at Lucasfilm? Yeah, it does, only they're on the left. This is us in the middle. We don't like the woke shit, get rid of it. We think Disney should have to hash out a new agreement about over Reedy Creek. That Reedy Creek should have a new agreement, yes. All right. Are we sick and tired of being caught in the middle between people like Benny Johnson, who stir up bullshit, black pill everything, and the Barbara Streisands and the Latondra Newtons? Yeah, we're sick of it. Okay, give you an example. How many of you have ever read the novels or saw the TV series War North and South? John Jakes, God bless his soul, wrote novels about the Civil War, highlighting two families: the Hazards of Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, which I don't live very far from, and the Maines of Low Country, South Carolina. And the two protagonists, George Hazard and Ori Maine, were at West Point. They were at West Point, just classes below Ulysses S. Grant, Bill Sherman. Robert E. Lee kind of floated around in there. Some of the greatest leaders in American military history, right? And they were there. So you go through all their stuff, and when you look at it, the bad guys are the extremists on both sides. For instance, Virginia Hazard, dyed-in-the-wool abolitionist. She goes out of the way when she goes to visit the South to antagonize Southerners by seducing a black slave owned by Justin Lamont and helping him escape. Okay, she basically goes out of her way to ruin the friendship between George and Ori. She's ends up her and her then now husband end up helping John Brown, who in this day and age would have been called a terrorist. Okay, I had abolitionists in my family. All right, they in Indiana. There's absolutely nothing wrong with believing and working to remove slavery from the American lexicon. Okay. It is the fanaticism. It is the unreasonableness. It is the idea that we can't work this out to help. So the inevitable violence does not happen. Okay. Then we have it on the other side. Justin Lamont and, Ori's father, Tillett, is more defensive over it. He feels like his livelihood is being questioned, etc., etc. He considers himself a benevolent plantation owner. Meanwhile, you've got the neighborhood bad guy, Justin Lamont, who marries Madeline Fabre, she's a Creole from Louisiana, and played by Leslie Ann Down. And Leslie Ann Down and Patrick Swayze, he plays Ori, have a torrid affair. All right, they have a torrid affair. And they get caught in the middle because you've got Ori's sister, Ashton, who's a nutcase, an absolute nutcase, marrying a up-and-coming politician, and he's stuck in the middle. He doesn't. When you look at the complexity of what's going on, and you see there are many different ways to get out of this without seeing 650,000 American boys dead, an entire region of the country completely demolished. Okay, and really, if you've ever lived in the South, driven through South Carolina, there are still places that need loving care because they haven't seen it since before 1861. Okay, and I'm not kidding. It's the unreasonableness, okay? And it's scary, okay? It's really scary. Now we've got pro-aborts threatening violence, and of course, Madison, Wisconsin, where else is new, firebombed a pro-life clinic. Okay, fine. That's what they're gonna do. The cops gonna do anything about it? No, maybe we need to have guards outside. Does it justify violence from us? I don't think so. I don't know. We've got, you know, people insisting movies that aren't woke are woke. Like, how many of you guys have seen Black Panther? I haven't. I have never heard it was woke. Now, maybe this person thinks it's woke because it's about a black superhero. Okay, I feel sorry for you if you think that that's a bad thing. I've talked about what woke is. Woke, again, is gender swapping a male character for a female character. It is turning that male character gay. Okay? It is taking an otherwise straight romance and throwing in a question mark. Okay? It is, you know, that's what woke is. Race swapping. That's what woke is. Woke is making obvious political statements in the middle of a movie, okay, about current events. That's what woke is. Woke really doesn't have anything to do with representation. It has everything to do with shoving down our throats garbage. Like today, Slash posted a fairy tale cartoon of Snow White getting her wake up kiss from Beauty, from Sleeping Beauty. Fucking disgusting. First off, yeah, it triggered me. You want to know why? Because he did it to piss people off. He did it to say, fuck you, straights. Rock and roll. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that, Troy. Rock and roll can be motivated. All right. First off, I'd never say the Sex Pistols were woke. I'd never say the Clash was woke. Susie and the Banshees, the Ramones, Blondie, Patti Smith. Okay. You name it, the Misfits. All right. They're politically motivated, but they're not woke. Okay. Posting that picture was did one thing only. To tell people who don't like that shit, who disagree with that lifestyle, that they suck. And it was a fuck that shit. All right? Why? Why? To be an asshole. That's why. Okay? Just to be a prick. Because they think they're being liberal. And they're not. They're not. They're being sheep led to the slaughter by a bunch of hardcore, way far to the left leftists. And they're too stupid to understand it. Look, I'm going to tell you something. If you take the opinion of any poorly read musician, from Ozzy Osbourne to Slash to Axl Rose to Nancy Wilson, as gospel, and that's where you get your politics from, you're a fucking moron, okay? You're a fucking moron. When you hear these people interviewed, they're not well educated. They're great artists, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Same thing with most actors. I mean, I love Mark Hamill. He has major league flaws, okay? He virtue signals constantly. All right, does he know anything about politics or policy? No, of course not. He's been in show business for 50, almost 60 years. You know shit about politics. I loved Carrie Fisher. She know anything about politics. She know anything about gun control. Harrison Ford. He's probably the smartest one of all. He never really says anything. He supports the climate change hocus. But, you know, I can forgive him for that because when he says something about it, he doesn't treat people like they're morons and doesn't go out of his way to piss people off. Okay? You know, it's just, Tom Hanks doesn't do that. Steven Spielberg doesn't do that. But you got a cadre of very poorly educated people. Mark Ruffalo. My dog's IQ is higher than his. All right. All right. His IQ is much higher than Kathy Griffin's. All right. I mean, Kojak's a goddamn genius compared to those people. Why? Because they're stupid. They're stupid. You know, oh God, who's the Sopranos guy that played Chrissy? Shit. He's an idiot. I look at Steve Sharipa and he does a lot of stuff with him. I'm like, Steve, how can you stand him? How can you stand him without wanting to punch him? And Steve Sharipa hates Robert De Niro. Hates him. I mean, he loves Al Pacino. Hates Robert De Niro because Robert De Niro's a dick. All right, Robert De Niro's a loudmouth, ignorant dipshit. Okay, he doesn't know shit about anything. We know that. When Slash did that, I was like, look, asshole, just no. Shut up and sing. Shut up and play your fucking guitar. Okay? You want to sit there and insult a vast majority of the country, go right ahead. But you're the only one that looks like an asshole. You get called out for it. That doesn't mean the people calling you out hate that tiny minority of people. No, we don't. No, he didn't play Big Pussy. That was he played Bobby Bacala. That was shit. I can't remember that actor's name who played Big Pussy. You know, I'm like, stop it. And we've got people, amongst us who are very, very fanatical about their core beliefs and can't just go, okay, I don't like what they're doing. I'm going to say something about it, but I'm not going to bring up irrelevant things. Okay. I'm not going to bring up things that were not on topic. All right. You know. Yeah, Vincent Pastore. Yeah. Both great actors. I love Steve Sharipa, though. He's a great guy. I mean, he really, really is. Good Catholic man, too. But, yesterday on Midnight's Edge, Tom was saying we've got a perfect storm for the final read. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. We got Frank Langella getting fired for inappropriately touching a woman's clothed thigh in a love scene in a show. Follow the House of Usher. It's a love scene. He's 84 years old. Of course, he came out swinging. Okay, one of the most intriguing actors of the last 50 years. Okay, he played a great Dracula, by the way, in 1979. Hell of a good-looking man too, in his time. It's like, then we got Fred Savage getting fired for what? I don't know what he was doing, but it's just innocent bullshit. And, and then we've got Bill Murray. And really what it comes down to is Keke Palmer, the whiner bitch, attacking him, is pissed off because he's Bill Murray. All right? He might have made a joke. He probably did. She let it fester. She got pissed off, so she went to whoever. And, the weak sauce director and producers didn't know what to do. And because she's black, she gets to bully Bill Murray. You're looking at the end of Wokistan. And 99.9% of you people don't even see it. Okay, like, look at the panels official panels at Star Wars Celebration. No sequel trilogy at all. Only on the fan stage do you see woke shit. That's it. That stuff is gonna fade. Okay. You see Elon Musk, uh, slowly but surely taking control of Twitter. You've got, Roe versus Wade. Obviously, it's about ready to be overturned. They're gonna read. They're gonna go out with a bang, but they're going out. Okay. Yet we have negativity, like the stuff with Kenobi. There's a black woman in the trailer. So immediately, the knee jerk reaction is she's going to be the hero. Really? You know this how? We've been told they filmed 3 different endings for this. So we've got what I love about it is you've got channels acting like they know because they saw a rumor. They don't know that there's another rumor out there saying that there are 3 different endings. Do you know why they did that? So they could catch who's leaking. So it looks to me like the worst of the worst got leaked. And it's probably not even an ending because they want to see who's leaking to Jason Ward. Okay? Look, the leaks have gone on too far. The last ones weren't real. We know that. We know that. There are a lot of people who immediately want to believe them because they're negative. They don't really want to believe anything good happens or is going to happen. They'd much rather be miserable and make everybody else miserable. Fine. I don't play that game. I don't like that game. I think it's bad. What does it do? Look, the world right now is in a shitty place. All right. Average price for a gallon of gas is like, what, $4.37 now. All right. There are things not appearing in the grocery stores. Now, it's not going to be complete bare shelves like the black pills want you to think. But there's going to be stuff missing that you want to buy. That's called adapt, overcome. Okay? We've got the stuff in Ukraine still going on, even though U2 did a concert in Kiev. We've got lefties who actually think Zelensky is some sort of hero, and he's a more obnoxious oligarch than any oligarch in Russia could ever possibly be. The world's in a shitty place, and yet we've got these woke, these fear mongers demanding that with bigger channels than mine, because if it bleeds, it leads, and no one wants to have a reasonable conversation anymore, that this one rumor is true. No, it's not. And what's interesting to me, despite the leaks about the Boba Fett series, Walt Disney World Pro and Doomcock are right. When you look at the end, you could tell that they didn't know what the hell to do. That was a jumbled mess. And there's no way they were going to put Han Solo in the middle of that. All right, it was just... It's not morals. It's people's brains. It's people's intellect. It's people's ability to reason and go, I don't buy that. That's what's changed. Okay. I'm sick of it. All right? I'm sick of it. I want to go and watch Kenobi and be happy. All right? I don't want to hear about it anymore. Okay? I thought about this last night. If I had the money of a Peter Thiel or a Rupert Murdoch, I would buy a bunch of these channels on both sides and shut them down. Why? They don't help. Okay, they don't help. You want Star Wars news? Go to something that only does news. Okay? You want to talk about stuff? Go to Midnight's Edge, go to Doomcock, come here. But the other ones, all they do is just, we've got some on the left who spew woke shit, and we got some on the far right who are just black pills. They don't, look, you gotta look at something. The moment I heard about that rumor, I was like, Jason Ward leaked that. Because it's Bespin Bulletin. Okay? Ward wasn't right about Boba Fett. Okay? Nobody was right. Alright? Kenobi, they've had enough time to really fix it, to do the right thing with it. And if this leak is only based on the trailers, really? I guarantee you everything we saw in those trailers is the first 2 episodes, and that's it. We're not gonna, they did not show us anything else. Okay. They did that with Mandalorian. They did that with Boba Fett. Okay. So the idea that you're getting, she's the big hero, and she's gonna change the Inquisitors, so she's not gonna change them. She's not, well, why, again, where the fuck does that come from? What, you're afraid because everything is woke? Boba Fett wasn't woke. Honestly, if you think Boba Fett not saying anything during a meeting, have you ever seen The Godfather? Have you? You ever seen the part where Michael's just sitting there listening to people talk and watching it bounce around, not letting anybody know what he's thinking? That's what a leader does. You never let anybody know what you're thinking. Okay? Shand, just like as Cameron said, did the talking for him. He doesn't have to, okay? If you walked into a meeting with Ronald Reagan, he never said anything. He listened to what his advisors would say, okay? And that's the way to do it. Okay, that is the way to do it. You never let anybody know what you're thinking. All right. So when they were bitching about that, I'm like, we really do have a bunch of really stupid people. I mean, they've all watched The Godfather and they don't get it. It's not about the mob, it's about family. All right. I think probably that's what's going to happen. I think Vader kills her. I think we're going to see Darth Vader at some of his darkest moments, which is going to be really cool, by the way. And the reason why is because it just makes sense. All right, it's going to be very, very cool. And like that stuff where he saw his suit being fixed and his arm being put in. That's probably the end of episode 1 or 2. Okay. It's going to be very interesting going forward what happens here. And I know there are a lot of people who are Star Wars fans who are bitching and moaning because they think it breaks canon. Then don't fucking watch it. And please, don't tell me anymore. Because guess what? I don't care anymore. Okay? Because, you watch the OT and actually thought you understood what they were saying. Hi, Kojak. And you didn't. He's right here. He's being a very good boy. Hi, Mommy. Very good boy. They didn't understand it. No, they didn't. Well, I loved Rogue One for a lot of reasons. Um, I could have done without what's his face, uh, the uh, the black terrorist dude. Um, I didn't like that part. I mean, it's understood, but when you watch it, you suddenly realize that they're being a little obvious here. He's supposed to be like Jake Guevara. Jake Guevara was a homophobic, racist prick. You know, that's what he was. And had the motorcycle diaries and the rest of it, but he was a homophobic, racist prick. Okay, raised like a spoiled brat, decided he wanted to stick up for people, but he didn't. He was nothing like people on the left think he was. Saw Gerrera. When I heard that name, I was like, oh fuck, Dave. You know, and I would tell him, if you don't believe me about Jake Guevara, go read about him. Look, he looks, part of it is, yeah, yeah, you're right, Troy. The thing about Jake Guevara is that he looked cool, he looked like a rebel, and if the shallow thinkers actually believe that he was some sort of hero, not a hero at all. Okay, not a hero at all. What he was a violent sociopath who didn't give a shit about the people he killed. He personally, I think, killed like 600 people. The guy was a spree killer. That's what he was. You know, you could put him up against any SS criminal, and Jay probably would beat him for how many people he killed, personally. All right? So that part I didn't like. But the rest of it, I did. You know, Rogue One was the end of the non-diverse empire. If you watch Mando, John Favreau is not above putting people of color in Imperial uniforms. Giancarlo Esposito. Okay. You've got Indira Varma playing an Imperial officer. Okay. See? Now, are the woke folk gonna freak out about it? No, because they won't notice it. They won't notice it. But one of the things that he did was make it very obvious that he wasn't following that rule anymore. And I'm sure Kathy Kennedy lost her shit when she realized white men aren't the bad guys anymore. It doesn't matter. Everybody is, you know? But again, let's go back to this rumor. It's so stupid it doesn't make any sense. Okay? I do too. I love Esposito. I think he's great. It's stupid. It's obviously a troll. I'll tell you something else. And I said this before. And I want the people who actually look at it, to look at it in a different way. You heard that leak, it pissed you off. The leak probably isn't true. All right? Likely not true. And what I find interesting about all this is that they're not thinking the way I look at it and said, this leak is likely not true, and it's out there for what purpose? To divide the fan base. That's it. To make morons like the ones who think it's real not want to watch it. That's it. That's what it is. Okay. That's why Ward put it out there. Now, I've said many, many times, Jason Ward is working with somebody inside Lucasfilm to fuck with Filoni and Favreau. He doesn't like Star Wars. He doesn't give a shit about Star Wars. You know, if you love Star Wars, why would you do what he's done? Attention, narcissism, probably borderline personality disorder or histrionic, money, power, and just to fuck with people that, you know, this guy feels strongly with harmed him when he was younger. Okay, not. You know, it's very interesting to me seeing this all play out, knowing that none of it's real. All right, none of it. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that a lot of those shill channels are only surviving on bot accounts, subscriber bot accounts. You know, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I think that that is a big problem. All right, look, we're getting to a place right now that the dark and dreary black pilling is starting to wear on people. All right, it's starting to wear on people. And there are people out there that don't even know they're doing it. It's like, take a good hard look at yourself and think about what you're saying. All right, does it help the film or show? Is it good for the fan base? Is it based on facts? Or is it based on a rumor, hearsay, which you get thrown out in court? You know, you can walk up to Amber Heard, the lawyer at the Depp trial, or the judge at the Depp trial, with a rumor. She'd throw it out as hearsay. It's not allowed. It's just not. So when I hear that rumor and I look at the video, because hey, you want to know what? Look at that video, and if you hate the fans and you don't want Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to succeed, you'll make up a story and you'll make it look like that's what the trailer says. Trailer said nothing. Again, it's the first 2 episodes. They're not going to show us anymore. Okay? And I don't see Deborah Chow allowing that. All right? You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. All right? It's time for people to start using their brains, because a lot of these people are smart. They're just emotional, irrational, and unreasonable. Okay? And the rest of us are like, let's wait till we see it. Okay? Let's wait till we see it. Because I liked the trailers. I thought the trailers were good. Okay? They see a black woman with a lightsaber and piss all over themselves. And now it's being used against them. And they're like, huh? That's what this is. Okay? Now again, tomorrow is the Disney earnings call, and I'm probably going to go live, and we'll listen in and we'll discuss it as Chapek, and it goes about an hour and a half, and it's boring. I'm going to warn you guys. I mean, I sent a link, a long time ago to Tom for it, and he's like, this is boring. It's like, it is boring. He's basically telling the investors what's going on and what they want to hear. Okay? And what they don't want to hear. That's it. Stuff we already know. We're going to find out. 4:30 is the earnings call, so it's after the market closes. And when the market closes, we're going to get the paper, the actual stuff so we can read. But listen to Chapek, because we'll see where he is right now. We'll see where he is. Okay? And then we'll get phone calls from Wells Fargo and some of the big investment firms They're not going to let people like us, small investors, call. And we'll get an idea. But mostly I want to listen because I want to see where Chapek is. And if any of the bullshit that we know about is mentioned. Okay, that's very important right there. What else is going on? That's it. And we've got this stupid rumor. We got the black pills running with it. You know, well, Jacob, it did after they announced that Gina wasn't coming back. And the bad thing about it was, and this is why I'm so glad I'm not part of this anymore, a conservative think tank called in. Last people we want to see do that. Okay, here's the deal. You're not going to get anybody to move if you've got a radical dictating to you or talking for you. Okay, and they're not the only people that thought what happened to Gina was wrong. Everybody did. Okay, there are people in Hollywood that haven't said anything in public that think what happened to her was wrong. Giancarlo Esposito, who's not a Republican, said it was wrong. Carl Weathers was pissed off. Okay? Carl Weathers was mad. I remember him in one of those table talks that they were having with Favreau and Filoni when he basically implied, you're not woke and that's why I'm here. I would not be working on this series if you were woke. I mean, that's what he implied. And they were very uncomfortable about that because they're not in the position to say no more woke shit yet. Okay, now I think they might be. We'll have to see. But there are people in Hollywood that didn't agree with it. Now you've got, all right, somebody like Frank Langella, 84 years old, well-known actor. He played Dracula in the 1979 version with Laurence Olivier. He was on Broadway playing Dracula. Now, I had heard from Dan Watanabe that Langella's gay. And then I'm like, well, he had a pretty fiery relationship for a long time with Whoopi Goldberg. So he's not gay. All right, he might both ways, but he's not gay unless he decided to come out after that. He's a very interesting guy. Oh yeah, he is getting dragged, and he's fighting back. So you're gonna see people fight back. Now I don't know why Bill Murray didn't fight back, but again, Bill Murray doesn't have a manager. He doesn't have a PR front. He does all that stuff himself. So he's behind the eight ball. Look, if you're in that business, hell, if I could afford it, I'd have a PR manager. I'd have an agent because, they can do things. A lawyer can do things that you can't. Okay, a lawyer can put a word out there. A PR firm can put word out there that if you said it, people would take it the wrong way or run with it. You know what I'm saying? It's very sad, but the fact of the matter is, this will end up hurting Keke Palmer. I wouldn't work with her. If you can't deal with Bill Murray, his joking around, his constant ad-libbing, and his, eccentric behavior on set, then fuck off. All right? If you have to go on Instagram and spew invective, you're the one that's not being professional. Okay? You're the one, not him. If you're doing a love scene with Frank Langella and he puts his hand on your thigh, you're the one with the problem. It's a love scene. Okay? Now, maybe you should have thought, I don't want to do a love scene with him. Can we get that fixed in the script so I don't have to do it? Lots of ways to get out of that. All right? We're going to find out the woman who complained was a lesbian. All right? Most women I know who fall into that category were molested as children, and instead of just merely blaming the person, the man who did it, or the woman, they blame all men everywhere. Irrational, don't you think? Yes. I really look at this as like it's over. It's over for them. It is. So we just have to be patient. And if you're going on a YouTube channel and they're coming up with this rumor, it's a rumor, and we don't even know what it's really based on. Tell people, go to that park place and look at what WDW Pro is saying about Obi-Wan. They probably filmed 3 different endings. Why? They can keep people guessing. Okay? There's a way to do it. So everything in episode that leads up to episode 5, you can have 3 different ways of ending it. Okay? We have to get past the anger, the frustration. Okay? And it's going to be a long time, but we have to get past it. All right? Disney's not going to go away. It's not. You better hope Bob Chapek doesn't go away. Okay? Or if he does, somebody loud and obnoxious like David Zaslav comes in. Okay? You better hope that Favreau and Filoni are successful. All right? As far as Star Wars being dead, a bunch of fanboys making comments doesn't mean it's dead. It means they're looking for attention. Okay? When you look at some of the things that these people want to do with Star Wars, it's like, it's fan fiction. It's bad fan fiction. It goes from goofy to outrageous. Okay? But again, when you look at writing, not that anybody, at least in the High Republic in the sequel era, and Solo were talented writers, they're not, nor did they know their subject. It's a very deliberate act. You have to know your subject, and you have to love your subject, okay? Because if you're writing a script, you're there for at least, Michael Arndt said he needed 2 years to work on it, or a year, 18 months. 18 months, he said. That's how long it would take to write a good script, to really flesh out what you want to do, because you love it, right? Look at what we got. And look at, anyway, I gotta go. I'm gonna make some lunch. So you guys all be well, be safe, be happy. And we've got 20 days, 19 days till Obi-Wan drops. See you guys around the galaxy. Behave and be safe.